as we continue with this morning conversation. But remember, Good Morning Kenya still has a lot in store for you. The next discussion is coming up with the one and only Jane Wamboi.
Yes, and this is all about urbanization. Now, urbanization has been one of those concepts that, as a people, we are struggling with to get to. Urbanization is good, but we're not doing it in a sustainable way. So what are we doing to just help us help this urbanization process in a sustainable way?
And what is this here that I'm seeing?
Now, this is in regards to the World Urban Forum. It's a summit that has been happening for the last 10 years. The first summit was actually here in Nairobi. The World Urbanization Forum happened here in Nairobi back in 2002. This was an initiative that was deliberated upon and agreed upon back in 2001. And we had the first summit here in Nairobi in 2002. And today we just want to have a discussion about the forthcoming summit, which will be the 10th one, which will be happening in Abu Dhabi. And it's the first time it's happening in an Arab country. So there is definitely progress in the right direction.
With regards to the urbanization, whether, how are we building our cities?
Yes.
And the discussion has been with regards to even Nairobi County. How did we build Nairobi County? Because right now we're having a problem with regards to developing the county. So that's quite a good discussion.
We need to look at sustainable ways to make sure that urbanization is progressive, and we're not, we don't have to deal with issues to do with climate change, poor economies, and leaving no one behind, as has always been part of the UN mantra. So that is the discussion that we want to have right now. And we have such a fantastic lady with us in studio this morning.
Looking forward to it.
Of course. Have a seat.
Yeah, I'm going to be sitting here.
We have a fantastic lady with us in studio this morning. We have had her before. She is none other than Maimuna Mohammed Shariff, who is the Executive Director of the UN Habitat. Karibu sana. Good to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome once
Asante
again.
sana.
You got it.
Habari ya usubuhi.
Mzuri sana.
Kenya.
Labda yako.
Thank you.
That's as far as Swahili goes.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for having me here.
You are very much welcome. And remember, you can also be part of this discussion. Any questions, comments, clarifications that you may be needing in regards to this discussion, we absolutely welcome them. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. At KBC Television is how you can find us on our social media platforms. Our SMS number is 20154. And of course, my handle is Jane Wambui across all social media platforms. So we want to help our viewers understand what this urbanization is that we're talking about. We cannot presume that we all understand this. And I'd like for us to just start there. The World Urban Forum. We're about to have the 10th session happen.
Yeah.
But let's just journey back to when it all began. When this whole conversation started back in 2001. Tell us a bit about what was happening during that space.
Yeah, thank you very much. A very good morning. Asante sana for having me here. The World Urban Forum is a very, very important event globally. And when you talk about World Urban Forum,
yes,
it started in the decision made in New York in the year 2001.
Yes,
for us to talk about sustainable urbanization, sustainable living, and how we can promote and also provide a better quality of life for all.
Yes,
in the urbanizing world, because by 2030, 60%. 6 out of 10 people will live in the cities.
Imagine.
And by 2050, 2/3. And people used to say cities is an engine of growth, cities is a solution, cities are the challenges. So in 2001, it was decided that we will have a World Urban Forum. It's a mandate of UN Habitat on human settlement and cities. And that's why 2002, there was the first
summit.
World Urban Forum in Nairobi, because UN Habitat footprint is in Nairobi, in Gigiri. And if you can see that the title was Sustainable Urbanization at that time. And now the journey has been go through the world, across the world. And the 10th session will be in Abu Dhabi from 8 to 13th of February 2020.
Yes, and that's going to be happening in the next month, and that's what we want to help you better understand what is expected of this forum. Now, from the time this summit came together and this forum started, there were some objectives that, have been at the core of this summit. And maybe you could help us understand some of the main objectives of this urban forum.
Yeah. One of the main objective is to discuss. This platform is a global platform. It's a non-legislative. It's very inclusive. It's very premier, and it involves from all walks of life, from the government, from the regional government, from the stakeholders, from the grassroots, from the youth, from the women. There will be a platform to discuss the challenges and the solution, and also maybe to find a proposal. How can we tackle urbanization? How can we tackle cities? How we tackle not climate change, climate emergency now, is in a way that can help the government, the cities, even the stakeholders to make a decision, the way of living. So this is a very important session. And at the same time, if you see that from World Urban Forum 1 to World Urban Forum 10, there was one event, they call it Habitat 3 in Quito, where the global and the member state is already committed to the implementation of the new urban agenda. So the journey from 2002 to 2020 is already 10 years, and that's the reason why one of the program in the World Urban Forum is to have an alumni of WOOF, those who already involved in WOOF, and also the cities who already hosted WOOF, and to also to call back what are the achievements for the past WOOF 1 to WOOF 10.
And this forum happens every 2 years.
Yes, every 2 years.
And looking at the journey that the 9 forums that we have had so far, looking at the awareness level among the people over the years, how would you say that has gained traction when it comes to sustainable urbanization, when it comes to awareness among the world population, with even in regards to some of the projects that have been ongoing as a result? Do you think we are gaining traction when it comes to awareness level with sustainable urbanization?
To a certain extent, the awareness of now people, more people talk about urbanization, more people talk about sustainable urbanization.
And getting involved.
And getting involved, and they want their voice to be at the table. I think to a certain extent, they are already awareness. But there are still a lot of things, a lot more to be done in such a way. That's why the World Urban Forum in Abu Dhabi, the theme is culture and innovation. And how is it linked? Cities and opportunities, culture and innovation, how is it linked to sustainable urbanization? Because sometimes that we said, oh, we used to do this, this is our culture, we cannot change. So now we link culture and urbanization and innovation. And from there, that's why we involve all walks of life, from private sector, from university, from the government, and also from the grassroots.
Yes. So would you say there's sort of a knowledge gap when it comes to the concept about sustainable urbanization, which as a result of, you might find parts of the population are a bit reserved due to culture and urbanization. So you would say there's a knowledge gap there about sustainable urbanization?
Yes, there's still.
Is that we don't really understand?
Yes, there's still gap there. I think this is the best platform for everybody to get involved, to gain more knowledge. Even there will be a local voluntary review by the governors. This is a platform to share best practices and also to share challenges. And also it's a program for the youth, program for women, program for the grassroots, program for the governors, and also for the ministers and national government and regional government.
Okay.
So this is to me is one opportunity to start the decade of action to achieve the sustainable urbanization. We have only 10 years left to reach 2030.
2030 SDGs.
Yeah, so this is, I think, one of the big program in the UN, and is govern everybody, and everybody are free to participate through the online registration.
Yes.
And to give out, to voice out their concern, and also to share their best practices within this platform.
So collaborations would go a very long way in helping fill this knowledge gap that is there about sustainable urbanization.
Yes.
And I also just want to quickly look at some of those emerging challenges that have been facing sustainable urbanization over the years. And the biggest one has remained to be rapid urbanization. From this forum, how do you, or rather at least for the benefit of our viewers who might not be able to attend this summit, of course it will be streaming live, but these are some of the key areas that are going to be dialogued and discussed upon. How is rapid urbanization being factored in, and some of the potential solutions inside for rapid urbanization?
Yeah. One of the issues that you mentioned correctly about rapid urbanization and linked to sustainability and also linked to planning, holistic and integrated planning. That's the reason why we have a very diverse program for the World Urban Forum. We have 6 dialogues, 6 high-level dialogue. Urbanization, dialogue number 1, urbanization, culture, innovation. You see, even number 1, we start with the urbanization.
Urbanization itself.
We talk about urbanization itself. Second is how we can drive sustainability, urbanization, through innovation and culture. That is the second. Third is also tradition and modernity, a creative convergence for better cities. And fourth will be frontier technology and sustainable cities. And urban planning, heritage preservation and regeneration, because many cities are, many also government are putting up to the new cities, urban sprawl, but the old cities been left behind. And this is how in urban regeneration coming in. And 6 is partnership and initiative, supporting culture, innovation in cities. Then is 6 dialogue. And we also have the, apart from 6 dialogue, we have the 4 high-level roundtable. Talking about the local and regional government, 1 UN roundtable, because we also want UN reform, and traditional authorities. This is the grassroots. We also have 6 special sessions, which involve sustainable urbanization, addressing equality, and this is a very youth culture and urbanism. And we have 5 assembly. Women assembly, youth assembly, local and regional assembly, grassroots assembly, and business assembly, because we need business partners to
part
create,
of the value chain.
the part of innovation. And last but not least, we have the WOF stakeholders roundtable. We are not forgetting the stakeholders, like also the civil society, foundation, indigenous people, older person, parliamentarian, professional, research, and academia. So to me, this WOF is a very inclusive platform for us to discuss the challenges and the opportunities when you talk about cities, urbanization, and human settlement from the eyes of culture and from the eyes of innovation and creative technologies.
And you've just mentioned culture, and one might be thinking, okay, why should I prioritize urbanization over my culture? And some may be struggling to understand the importance of sustainable urbanization. It has been happening for the better part of the last decade, and we are still yet to get where we want to be. So maybe for the benefit of our viewers, and of course in relation to this forum, why is this urbanization forum important, not just for you and I, but for us as a whole, as a population?
Because cities are for the people. People are for the cities. So that is the important for everybody. When you link about culture and urbanization, just talk like example of Kenya, the ban plastic. Culturally, Kenyan government use plastic. But from the innovation, from the knowledge, we know that plastic is not good for the environment. And then culturally, we use plastic. But now, we change to the innovation. We use to more sustainable product. That is one area. For example, like in terms of education, in terms of planning. So we are used to be, this is very conservative. Culturally, we do this. But even now, people are more in terms of their food production. Less people now eat meat. Because in order to put the meat on top on the table, how many carbon emission have been gone through, been produced. So this is culture, to change the culture, but they need knowledge in order to change, and they need technology. What are the alternatives? If you don't use this, what are the alternatives? So that is how I see culture and innovation, not only culture in terms of heritage, but culture, our behavior, our way of life, and how we can link to the climate change, climate emergency, and also the sustainable urbanization, and how we use the natural resources. Don't waste food. You know, then how can we, from the private sector, how they can do the production, the culture of doing the production, so that they use less energy. They use solar energy. So this culture and technology and linked to the sustainable urbanization. That's how I look at it.
You know, sustainable urbanization, again, it's not just urbanization. It's about having sustainable urbanization. And now this boils back down to the population, down to the common Mwananchi, down to you and I. And for someone maybe watching us, they're wondering, okay, this is a big summit, it's happening, so how do I become part of it? And maybe you could tell us some of the guys, the represented groups that are going to be in this forum. You had mentioned they're going to be youth forum, women forum, but specifically, are there any representatives that, you know, the people can relate with, understand that, I know this one is from this part of Kenya, to make them feel part of this forum as well?
Yeah. I encourage the people, the public, to link to our live streaming, because all this program will be live streaming through the woof.unhabitat.org.
Okay.
Yeah? So live streaming for all the program, and I'm very happy to share with you that there are the participation in terms of registration from Kenya is the third highest registration
so far. That we're doing good.
In Kenya is on the third highest ranking, and there are very Kenyan speakers who will be together with WOOF. For example, like Youth Assembly. I think everybody knows Isaac Kaka from Matare. So people from Matare also can link to our live streaming to see, even though they cannot go there, but they can be part of us. You know, this is technology and innovation again.
Linking us to
the World Urban Forum. No need to go there, but they can still have the knowledge and can still follow us.
And be part of it.
Yeah, part of it. And you can also submit through social media the questions, the concerns and all that. There also Women Assembly from grassroots by the name Esther. She's coming, and also 13 Kenyan NGOs, civil society in Youth and Women Assembly session. They will be very active. And there are also session for the governors. I was told governor of Yandarua, and then there were also speaker from Kenya, our UNSG UNTAD, he's from Kenya. It's also local government from Nakuru, from Turkana. So I'm very, very happy to see that Kenyan is the third largest. Of course, the first should be the host country, because it's easy for them to go there. But being the third largest, I'm happy because we are in the footprint of Kenya in Nairobi. So I'm very happy that this program has been put it priority by the Kenyan government.
And it goes to show the conversation is alive, even here in Kenya.
Yes.
We don't just want to talk about it and we're not being part of it. We're just talking about it, registering and being part of the forum in itself. Now, this forum is going to be happening in Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
The first time it's happening in an Arab country. What does this mean in terms of progress and bringing people together on a global scale as part of, you know, one of the UN Habitat's mandate?
Yeah, the World Urban Forum actually has been traveling across the world. Yeah. From Nairobi, if I can borrow, from from Nairobi to then they went to Barcelona, number 2, and number 3 to Vancouver, and then number 4 to Nanjing, China. And the last was in Kuala Lumpur. And this is the first time the World Urban Forum to be in the Arab country. Yeah. And this is to show that we are inclusive. You know, we would like to have a global participation from all over the world. Yeah. So that's why we are moving from one country to another to cover. So this is to show that now from the WOOF 1 in Nairobi and up to WOOF 10 in Abu Dhabi, we can also share the challenges and the practices across the region, across the cities, and not only in one continent. So this is that's why we have the WOOF alumni, people coming back and discuss what for the past 10 years, what actually that we already achieved. Yeah. Why we cannot achieve what we want to achieve? If we only achieve 80%, why not 100%? So this is the platform, and I hope the outcomes of the World Urban Forum 10 will be a committed action. Yeah.
As we go into the decade of action.
It's not declaration anymore.
Yeah.
It's declare action. No, same spelling, declaration, but declare your action. Put up very clearly what are the things that we want to do, and you will be reported in the next WOF in Katowice in Poland in 2022.
We already have the next destination.
Yes.
It's about a global conversation about urbanization and leaving no one behind.
Yes.
And how is this also in line with, UN's declaration on, the decade of action, given we're starting a whole new decade? We only have 10 years to go, or rather less than 10 years, we're in the first year, to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030.
That's one of the most important program or event to discuss, the decade of action. And as we said, that we have only 10 years. And this is also a place where we can put our facts on the table. Where are we now? We
Taking
have only
stock.
10 years to go. And how can we chart our way forward for the next 10 years? As far as for UN, we will have other UN agencies will join us, because we have our one platform, we call it One UN. We also will discuss at the UN level our decade of action. I mean, decade of action for UN Habitat, decade of action for other agencies, and also UN as a whole. And where our Secretary General will announce it soon. And as far as for UN Habitat, who are mandated on cities and human settlement, we would like to see how we can reduce poverty, how we can tackle the climate change.
Climate change, yeah.
How can we put gender mainstreaming in urbanization in terms of decision making, employment, and also in a way that is in creating the innovation and creativity. So we will put down our decade of action, and at the same time we also will be promoting and launching our priorities, UN Habitat priorities. We have 5 priorities. One is on the SDG cities, how the cities implement the Sustainable Development Goal. Another one on the smart cities and climate change, and also the affordable housing for the poverty. And the 5th is also on the migration and urban crisis. So we will launch our 5 flagship program, or we call it priorities for UN Habitat for the next decade of action. So this is the area that we will also would like to get feedback when we launch it. We also would like to get feedback, and plus engagement and involvement and collaboration. So this is the platform for not only for UN Habitat to engage, to build the network, is also for the grassroots. Maybe, I'm not sure, they will come up with the MOU with the another agencies or with another finance philanthropies to implement the program for the sustainable urbanization. So this is like a network, is a platform, non-legislative, and for everybody to take part. So I really hope that there will be people who join us. If not in person, in Abu Dhabi, is also live streaming through technology.
Through technology. And speaking of those who will be taking part of this, how do they go about, registering? Where do they go? How is that process set up?
You can register online, as I said, through woof.unhabitat.org. And due to the robust demand, we even extend
the registration
by 31st of January 2020. And it's free registration, but of course we have to go there to Abu Dhabi.
Registration is free?
Yes, registration is free, but you got to travel to
You'll take care of your travel expenses.
Yes.
All right. So, this is going to be happening between the 8th and the 13th of February in Abu Dhabi. First time it's happening in an Arab country, just to emphasize and solidify this conversation about sustainable urbanization. It is a global conversation, not just one country or one continent that needs to focus on this. This is a global movement that requires you and I to be part of this conversation, because no one is going to be left behind. We had this conversation, that was a theme a while back in regards to no one being left behind. We all have to be part of this conversation and help make this an actual reality, so that we don't have to deal with, rapid urbanization, and we're not having urbanization in a sustainable way and a manner. Now, for the benefit of our viewers, you have mentioned that this is going to be happening next month. Up until then, how can they be part of this conversation? For those who will not be able to travel there, how can they contribute towards some of the projects that you may be having, in line with sustainable urbanization?
Yeah, this is very, very important, because Kenyan take World Urban Forum and sustainable urbanization is very, very highly important. That's the reason why those who cannot attend the World Urban Forum in person in Abu Dhabi can do live streaming. Second, there will be the National Urban Forum in Kenya after the World Urban Forum in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
If you look into the newspaper today, it's already advertised here that there will be a National Urban Forum in Kenya by the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development and Public Work. On the 27th of January, immediately after the World Urban Forum. 27th of January, the title is also aligned with our title, the theme Culture and Innovation, Driving Sustainable Urbanization Through Culture and Innovation in Kenya.
Innovation, okay.
So those who can take part there and live streaming and bring it back to Kenyan National Urban Forum on 27 January in Kenya itself. So this is how I can see that the Kenyan,
the local population,
the global community can participate in the Kenyan National Urban Forum.
Okay.
This is for the spectators and for the people in Kenya. But globally, there will also a program from the WOOF 9. There are many countries that already started their own National Urban Forum. And now is the first time in WOOF 10 we are talking to the local government through the voluntary local review. They will present their facts and figures and their problems and their challenges to implement the new urban agenda, and there will be, I think it's already around 30 cities already committed to share the challenges and the opportunities and how they tackle urbanization, rapid urbanization in their cities, and it can be a platform for discussion and exchange knowledge.
To discuss some of these, emerging challenges facing sustainable urbanization. And, speaking of this, the government is at the center of this whole conversation, especially here in Kenya. You cannot have some of these projects happening without involving our local government, business community, as you had mentioned. So when it comes to the government in itself, in recognizing the role that they have to play in this, not just this forum, but, to keep the conversation going, what would you like to say in regards to that? The role of the government?
I think the government should play a very active role, not only in WOOF, but also in day-to-day, looking at the planning, integrated planning, as I said, looking at the governance, looking at the legislation, and also engaging the people in the decision-making. This is very, very important to have a bottom-up approach. Of course, we have a top-bottom, because the countries, the leaders must have a vision and convergence of ideas. So this is, to me, is the platform. And this is one of the platforms every 2 years. And it will be continue talking about it. And for example, like Kenya, we have the affordable housing, the vision of the Kenyan government, the
Big Four agenda.
The Big Four agenda. And the Big Four agenda, if you can see from the dialogue, the theme of the dialogue, the session, the Big Four agenda is aligned with the theme, and they can look into how we can get some input from this and to bring back. So this is very important, and I'm happy that I was informed that the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure, CS James Macharia, will be there, and also many from the government of Kenya will be there, and we will follow through with them in the National Urban Forum.
Yes. And another part of the population, you know, we always talk about the youth dividend, and we never really maximize on the power that the youth have when it comes to driving such conversation, especially leveraging on technology. You know, the youth are at the forefront in terms of keeping up with technology. Now, how can we also factor in the youth in this whole sustainable urbanization conversation in a way that makes sense to them, such that we don't lose them in the conversation? How do you think this can be factored in a way that makes sense to the youth?
Youth is consists of more than half
of the population. Yeah.
Population. So if we don't take this asset, we are losing at least 50% of the energy and also the ideas. So that's the reason why in the World Urban Forum and also in the UN Habitat's work, we engage youth very, very much because they are savvy, IT savvy, technical, they have the ideas, and they also can promote a new invention. Yeah. So, and in a way that is also linked to the employment and also linked to the change in behavior, because the youth will be the leaders of today and also leaders of tomorrow. So their involvement, their engagement to us is very, very important. That's why we have the youth assembly, and also we have the youth as a speaker. And I think one of the example that we saw the Secretary General, when we talk about the climate action summit in New York, the youth delegation is very big. It's headed by Greta Thunberg at that time. So I think in Nairobi or in other part of the world, that I was told that the composition of the government who are bringing their participant is also involved with youth. Okay. Youth and women is part of the delegation of the registered by the national government globally. All
right. And you had mentioned there are going to be women speakers that are going to be also part of the forum. I understand that at least over 7,000 people are going to be part of this. 159 countries are set to take to participate. Over 450 speakers, 470 events at least are going to be taking place at this forum. Now, for the women speakers who are going to be there, because you know we always say women are considered as a special category, and we need to change that conversation to just make sure that they are also part of this conversation without needing to feel special. So for women representation, how are they, maybe you could tell us a bit about, you know, the women speakers that are going to be there to sort of encourage other ladies who are struggling to be part of this conversation.
Yeah, in terms of the women, we have a women assembly, the women assembly. The speakers will be from the grassroots, from the youth, from the academia, and also from the private sector, and also from the government. So actually, in terms of the women, they are all walk of life. So this is to share their vision, to share their expertise. And when we talk about women participation, it's not only participate. We want women to engage in decision making and be at the table. That's the reason why one of our new element in WOOF 10, there must be gender parity in terms of speaker. If there is a 50-50, we are aiming at 50% male, 50% women for the speaker, and also we're trying to have a participant is also gender balance. So we as Maya also as a international gender champion been appointed by the Secretary General. So I will make sure that the women and children and also the youth being being brought
are well represented
and participate and engage in decision making, and also at every country, because at the end of the day we will have the declare action, and their voice also will be taken into account when we come out the declaration, and you will announce it at the closing ceremony on the 13th
of February.
All
right. Yes. Now, just looking at this whole forum as a whole, as we had mentioned, this is the 10th one. And, you know, for our viewers, we just, your call to action as a UN Habitat, as the ones who are convening this forum, what will be your call to action to the rest of the population when it comes to sustainable urbanization and understanding the effects of this urbanization that we are set to gain from?
Be a change maker.
Be a change maker.
Yes, be a change agent. Because to me, innovation is not only what they call it is IT. You know, people used to say innovation must have IT, must have
it's in the tech
technology.
Field. Yeah.
But sometimes the way that our lifestyle, change start from ourselves. The way that we behave daily, the way that we do our things, I think be a change maker and get involved. Because sometimes the word sustainable urbanization is very big. But get involved in day to day, how we can improve further our lifestyle. And to be more sustainable, and at the same time trying to create the wave which really change ourselves, create to your friend, to your community, and at the end to your country.
It will end into a ripple effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So be a change agent, be a change maker.
Be a change. Don't just exist.
Don't just
be
exist.
part of the conversation.
Be part of the conversation.
And do something.
Yes.
All right.
Even small. Sometimes small things can have a big impact.
And it starts with the small things.
Yes. Yes. No need to be like sometimes rocket science, but sometimes it's just very simple. The way we do our day-to-day life, we just sit this down. How sustainable is our day-to-day life?
Yeah. So be the change that you want to see. Don't wait for the change to start with someone else.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now remember, we're talking about the World Urban Forum. It's set to happen in the coming month between the 8th and the 13th of February. It's going to be happening in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. It's the first time it's happening there, but this will be the 10th session of the World Urban Forum, abbreviated as WOOF.
Yeah.
The hashtag is going to be WOOF10. It's all about learning how to keep up with sustainable urbanization. We have been complaining about urbanization. There's so much migration back and forth, rural urban migration in such a rapid rate that we're not able to keep up. But how can we ensure that migration, yes, is happening, but it's also sustainable? And you know, in as much as we're having rural urban migration, we also take care of our rural settings. We don't just leave it as is by regeneration, which is part of the conversation that is going to be happening in regards to the sustainable urbanization. There are over 159 countries that are going to be taking part in this forum. We have over 450 speakers, and I love the fact that they're involving youth speakers in this conversation, because we always talk about the youth dividend, which is a big part of the population that is yet to be exploited for the potential and power that it has. So the youth are definitely at the center of this conversation, and you as a young person out there, get involved in these conversations. You cannot just sit there and then complain of things happening, yet you are not doing anything to change it or to make it better. So that is in line with that forum. The theme is the cities of opportunities, connecting culture and innovation. Keeping up, not forgetting where we came from, but also keeping up with innovation as well as culture. We have been speaking with Maimuna Shariff, Maimuna Mohammed Shariff, who's the Executive Director at the UN Habitat. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. And of course, Karibu Sana, we do hope to bring the conversation back to Kenya after the World Forum has happened in Abu Dhabi. Yes?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Asante Sana.
Yeah.
And please stay tuned with our World Urban Forum. It will be live streaming, and see you back in Nairobi. Yeah, and thank you very much for having me here and taking this opportunity to wish all those participants globally, and also including the Kenyan representative, to come and discuss and take this opportunity to learn, to relearn, and also to seek knowledge, and also to share challenges. Thank you very much.
Once again, how can people register for to take part in the forum?
You can register online to the WOOF, wuf.unhabitat.org.
Okay.
Yeah, and you go through there, you can also have a link for the live streamings and all that.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely free?
Registration
is free?
Absolutely free, but if you want to go to Abu Dhabi, of course,
you'll have to foot the cost.
For the cost of the flights and also the accommodations and all that. But free. But through technology is free. You can
the knowledge is always free.
Yes.
All right, there you have it. So go ahead and check out woof.unhabitat.org. You'll be able to register and get to know how you can be part of this forum. If you won't be able to attend, there are going to be links as to how you can stream live to be part of this conversation. And we can also have these conversations in our schools and our institutions back here at home, you know, and they can get involved even in the via the online platform.
Yes, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and be part of this conversation and just check out how you can be part of this and be part of the conversation. Well, that is that for this discussion all about the World Urban Forum WOOF 10 happening in the coming month. So right now we have come to the end of Good Morning Kenya. And as always, we appreciate you for making time, being with us from morning till now. And today, you know, we had the new segment in the headlines and we're glad you enjoyed it as much as we did. Be sure to join us again tomorrow as we'll be doing this every day to just let you know what is in the dailies before you go out and purchase your copy of whichever newspaper you choose to purchase or of your preference. So we're going to be helping you and know what is in there to help you in the decision making as you go about getting your copy of the daily. But for now, on behalf of the entire Good Morning Kenya crew, I don't know Ram if he's ready on the other side of the studio. Mr. Director, are we involving Ram Aguko because he loves being part? Because he has to have a quotation at the end of the discussion. But let me just quickly cross on over to the other side of the studio and join Ram Aguko.
Actually, I was looking at what people are saying on social media.
Yes.
On Twitter, I'm seeing Ian Mwenda is saying a good job, Jane Ram and UN Habitat and Maimuna Shariff. We have Hanudi is saying, how are Kenyans registering for this event?
Once again, as she had mentioned, just check out WF, that is woof.unhabitat.org. Once you go to that website, you'll be able to know how you can, you'll be able to register and you'll get all the necessary links as to how you can be part of this conversation.
Edna Wambo is asking, is it supporting Big Four agenda? Yes.
Definitely, definitely.
And seeing Ahmed Mercy is asking, good job. When are you having such fora in Kenya?
All right, and before we actually release Maimuna, just what she had mentioned in regards to having that forum brought back to Kenya, but maybe Maimuna, you could take that once more. You had mentioned there's even an advertisement in all of our local dailies. Maybe you could just refresh, just tell us a bit about when the forum is going to be back here in Kenya.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. There will be the National Urban Forum on the 27th of January 2020, immediately after the World Urban Forum in Abu Dhabi. The venue will be the Grand Royal Swiss Hotel. It's in the local newspaper today by the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development and Public Work. This is also in the lead up to the World Urban Forum. So there will be whatever that we discuss in the World Urban Forum on the 8th to 13th of February will be bring back to Kenya on the 27th of January, the 27th January 2020. The discussion it will bring to Abu Dhabi, in February, the other way around, in Abu Dhabi on the 8th to 13th of February. So this is how it's linked between Kenyan National Urban Forum on 27th January to Abu Dhabi on the 8th to 13th of February. This the other way around here.
All right. And there's one tweet here. We had mentioned this before we came on air, and there's one Joanna Murugi who's asking, can you sponsor someone to attend the World Urban Forum? Maimuna, I'd like for you to address that.
Yeah, the World Urban Forum, we have a category of a sponsorship. We also sponsor the least developed countries, and then we also have a sponsor the stakeholders. But of course, we cannot be sponsoring everybody. But we hope that the government they will be part of the government delegation. They can talk to the government or the city council and whatever that, and also to the private sector who are also coming in for the capital investment platform. So this is we have some sponsorship, but very limited in terms of the numbers. And
again, bringing the whole aspect of collaboration and just involving everyone in the process. All right.
I think that's so far the tweets that you can sample, but you know, keep the conversation going. SMS 20154. That is the number. Start with the word Channel 1. Twitter hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. Tag me at Ramaguko and at Jane Wamboy. So I think we can wrap things up now.
Yes, that is that for today. Thank you so much. As always, we appreciate you for making time to be with us and choosing to start your morning with us right here on KBC Channel 1 on Good Morning Kenya. My name is Jane Wamboy.
And my name is Ramaguko. One thing that I would like to leave you with, just to inspire you and kickstart your day on Good Morning Kenya. Right?
Quote for the day. Here we go.
Quote for the day. Never regret a day in your life. Never regret. Every single day, never regret.
That's hard.
Good days give you happiness. And bad days give you experience and lessons.
Wachia hapo.
May God bless you and may God bless the work of your hands. My name is Ramaguko. See you again tomorrow morning for another edition of Good Morning Kenya. Keep it KBC for more of our programming. Keep it Good Morning Kenya.
Adios.